This week on the 5-Minute Book Review, starring Curtis and Ian, we take a look at George Orwell's 1949 classic, 1984. 1984 is, well, disturbing to say the least. Disturbing because over 50 years later, Orwell's vision of a controlled future has come true. Well, not really. Anyway, this should be fun. If you don't know the premise behind this book, shame on you. Let's jump right into things. Coin toss to start, and Ian is the winner.
5-Minute Book Review with Curtis and Ian, and this week it is a bona fide classic, and it's a classic not by Shawn Michaels. George Orwell's 1984. Like I'm going to say anything bad about this book, it is one of the best books on a dystopian totalitarian regime gone wrong as three parties fight for power and personal liberties are sacrificed. Seemingly more meaningful as time goes on. It's hard to explain. If you haven't read this book, if you don't know anything about it, then how do you not know anything about it? It is a fantastic book. It's one of my favorite books ever written. I try to reread it once every 2 years as a minimum if I'm just feeling kind of down, and it makes me feel good about my life. I can't explain the writing style of George Orwell in this book. It's absolutely brilliant. I feel like it is an analysis that is getting more true, especially when he starts talking about certain realities of language being lost.
Paranoid! Yes, it makes you feel better about yourself. It's like a text version of Prozac for a young Ian over there. I kind of blew that. I thought we were actually, I'm very unprepared for this. I thought we were going to review Van Halen's 1984. Huh? Prop comedy on the book review? Okay. What do you say about 1984 by George Orwell? This is something where, like, it's resonated. Its effect is bigger than the book now. It's still a great book. It's still chilling and way ahead of its time, but it's been parodied and talked about so much that, again, its effect is bigger than the actual text. Really like the book. I mean, how can you say anything bad about this? You read it, and so many things that you've seen in your life will finally click. You go, oh, that's where that's from. You know, everything from The Simpsons to any other show that ever does parodies or talks about the future and what people think the future is going to be like, it all comes back to this. Trailblazing. I don't know what else to say about it, Ian. George Orwell, 1984. People can stop complaining now that we don't do real books. Doesn't get much more real than this.
Only one person's complained about us not doing real books so far. Also, I'm not sure you know what the word comedy means, but that's fine too. I think the one thing with this book that blows my mind the most is just a lot of it's about the destruction of language and people losing the meaning of it, and that's definitely happening in today's society. And, you know, he talks a big part about how television's participation in that, except for us, of course, because, you know, what we do is very important.
Oh, me again. Okay, yeah, 1984. I didn't read this till years later again, so that was the most rewarding part to me, was reading it and be like, oh, that's what they were talking about in Simpsons. Oh, that's what they were talking about on Friends. And I hate to give spoilers away, but I'm sure the majority of the people have read this book, but man, when it ends, it ends. And it's one of those, you know, hide under the bed moments of horribleness that we always talk about on the book review. I love it. Ian?
How can you not love it? I mean, it's about the complete destruction of society, and it just evolving into some place where none of us have any free will. I mean, delightful.
If I can make one negative about it, track 2 isn't jump, like on Van Halen's 1984. That's
I can see how you'd find that disconcerting.
Yeah.
And just be constantly confused by you combining George Orwell and Van Halen in your brain.
It's hard to get this into my CD player. Ian?
I'm serious. I don't think you know what the word comedy means. Like, I think that might be part of the problem here.
That I don't know what the word comedy means?
Because you seem to think this is funny, confusing though.
Oh, come on, it's hilarious.
I can't fit the book in my CD player.
There's people watching right now just wiping tears from their eyes. That Curtis Anderson
on the floor,
is a comedy god.
Oh.
That is funny. Van Halen, 1984. George Orwell, 1984. Come on.
Let's put it this way. Both of them thumbs up.
People pay for stuff like that.
84. It doesn't matter whether you're going the Van Halen version or the George Orwell version.
It is, really is. It is a double. Here is what the long weekend for Easter looks like for anybody who doesn't have plans. Put that on while you're reading this.
I mean, it's like listening to Pink Floyd while watching Wizard of Oz.
And really, you might as well jump.
I hate you.